Mhm. Yep. But see, I'm gonna change all this thing in about a week or two again because what I'm doing is, yeah, I just put fresh oil in it, but and I want to run it through at least 5 to 10 heat cycles. And what I mean by that is I want to let it warm up, let it get up to operating temperature where the antifreeze and water circulating real good and it's maintaining the temperature for at least 20 minutes. Okay, that would be one cycle. And I would turn it off and I'd let it sit and I would let it completely cool down so I can touch anything on the engine that won't burn me. And then what I would do, I would start it up again, let it run for another, let it come up to operating temperature and let it run for 20 minutes. And then I turn it off. And I would do that probably 5 or 6, 7 more times. And I'm thinking, why do that? Well, I'll tell you, when you get these old trucks and cars or engines, they've been sitting for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, well, however long. They sit for a long period of time. Well, what happens is all the gaskets in the engine, while it's sitting there, they've gotten dry. Okay. When they get dry, they get brittle. So if I would just start this truck up and go run it and drive it and not do the heat cycles, it could cause failure. It could cause a front oil seal in the crank. It could make the back one leak. I could even blow a head gasket or a water pump gasket. So you can't do that. So you kind of got to bring them around gently, persuade them. You get them. What happens is when you do them gentle cycles, it slowly gets everything. Because with the head gaskets, you have water and oil. Well, they'll seep into the gaskets and start to gradually soften them up. Same way with every other rubber gasket or cork gasket. It'll eventually soften up. You just don't want to get on it and give her all the grits. You do that, then you have problems. That's why you want to do when it's been. They say that it's not good to let it in sit, let a car sit, and that's the reasons why. And that's when you do bring them back back life. See, this truck's been on vacation for 9 years. It ain't had to do anything but sit there. Well, I want to put it back to work, and I just can't just kick it in the ass and say, "Let's go." Can't do that. Got to be gentle. And after I do through the 5 or 6 or 7 cycles of warming it up and everything, then I'll drive it. But even though I'm going to drive it, I'm still going to be easy. I'm not going to drive it hard. I'm not going to work it too hard, at least for a couple weeks to make sure. Then after that, it's time to work. Yours?
Mention my name.
Nestle, my one viewer.
And you're one basher.
But now, when I do go start this up for the first time, and I'm gonna videotape it, this thing is going to smoke like a freight train. It's gonna be smoke coming up underneath the hood. It's gonna be smoke coming up underneath the truck. It's gonna be smoke going out the tailpipe. You're gonna think I'm gonna need to have to call the fire department, but I'm not. The reason why it's gonna smoke because one, it's got transmission fluid and everything over here against these manifolds, and the manifolds they get hot. So anything on there is going to cook them, and then it's going to smoke. All right. Anything up underneath the truck that has oil on it, on the exhaust pipe or whatever gets hot, it's going to burn that off. When it burns that off, it's going to smoke. Well, when it smokes at the tailpipe, It's going to smoke because I've put transmission fluid, mystery oil, everything down inside this engine, even WD-40 down in this engine. And those things will make it smoke. And it'll probably smoke for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And then it'll eventually just dissipate and go away. And it'll be fine. But don't get alarmed when you see that smoke for the first time. I'll only be alarmed if you see flame. Then we'll both be alarmed.